Hey folks, this is Brett with Local Brand Manager. This video is going to be a full platform demonstration. The screen that we're looking at here, the location screen, is typically where you will go when you're logging in. If you're just creating an account, you'll be prompted in the middle of the screen to sync a Google account. And what that looks like, it's just signing in with a Google account. So if one's saved to your browser, you can just go ahead and pick from it, or you can click on use another account. Once you've got your Google account synced, you will see that the locations associated with them will just go ahead and come into Local Brand Manager. And from that point forward, you can begin managing them. So if I go ahead and click on this location, sorry, I'm fishing for a good one here. Okay, so what we will do is ignore the red banners associated with this location because you will not be seeing them. But you'll have the option of posting different things. So media, this is where you can go ahead and post pictures. All of the images that have been uploaded to this location in the past will be synced into Local Brand Manager. If you see a letter G here, then the image was uploaded via Google, and you'll see an LBM if you uploaded it through Local Brand Manager, like right here. When you click on Add Photo, you can we'll go to select an image, and so you can upload one from your hard drive, or if you go to Gallery, these are the images that we just kind of scrolled through. But whether it comes from your hard drive or from your gallery, you are going to come to this EXIF screen no matter what. So this allows you to do things like geotag it right here with GPS locations, add a date and time. We do make this easy for you if you go to fill with recommended EXIF data. So for the image title now, be traffic runners, you can see over here, description, is the same one that is synced with the Google Business Profile location. And then the location coordinates are going to be the same coordinates associated with the location on Google Maps. In most cases, using recommended EXIF data is fine. If you have a reason to put in a custom location, you can easily do that. But for now, I'll just go ahead and click on OK. You'll want to specify a category. Let's just say it's a computer monitor. I'll do interior. We have this option available too, though, fallback to additional category. So sometimes Google will reject an image if they feel like it's a category mismatch. Selecting this will then attempt to re-upload it under the additional category. And in most cases, it will work if you do it that way. So anyway, this is a handy option to be aware of. Now, if we go ahead and click submit now, it will post immediately. We can also schedule this. So we want to pick a date and time here. Let's say we want it to go live next Wednesday afternoon, 3:15. And if I go ahead and click submit, it'll post at that time. Now, regular posts work very similarly. Let me go ahead and click on add post here. So everything we just did, selecting an image, we can do here as well. Use recommended EXIF data. What's different here, obviously, is we can include text. So we want to pick our post type. If it's an event or an offer, you would fill out these fields appropriately. As far as alert goes, COVID-19 is the only alert that is available in this category. So if you have any kind of COVID announcement, you would just make sure that you select the alert tab up here. For now, I'll just do a standard message. And I'm going to show you something called spin text, which if you open a curly bracket, which is what that character is called, how are you? I can separate options with a pipe, which is that vertical character there. How's it going? Now, when I close the bracket, you'll see on the preview over here on the right that it's selected one of these. Because there's two options here, there's a 50-50 chance that it will pick one of those. If I do 4 choices, there's a 25% chance. Now, if I click on regenerate spin tax, what that does is it simulates somebody hitting refresh on their browser or loading the post for the first time. So every time I do that, there's only a 50% chance that this will change and 50% chance it'll stay the same. And down here, there's a 25% chance. So the odds are based on how many different variables you put inside the brackets. You don't have to use spin tax. It's just something that is very handy if you make a recurring post. So here for recurrent days, if I put 7, this means I'll post every 7 days, once a week. For account, if I put 10, for the next 10 weeks. So if I schedule this to go live on Friday morning, then this will go live for the next 10 Fridays. So if I had a post where I put in, 10 instances of spin tax, the odds of any given person seeing the same version of the post twice are effectively nil. Now, if I want to daisy chain post, which means put in a link to the previous post, I can go ahead and click that button there. And if I want to link to the business site, the Google Business Profile provided site, the format is always, your subdomain .business.site. Go ahead and click that button there. So again, we have the same scheduling options that we do with images. This would be scheduled to go live Friday morning, and then again for the following 10 Fridays. So that's everything associated with posts. Now, keyword tracking. So you'll notice when you're signed in that you'll see keyword credits and Geogrid credits here. Now, the way that keyword tracking works is you enter keywords in one per line, like this, and you want to pick types. So you can be tracking local, organic, and organic mobile. Let's just say that in this case, I want to be tracking local and organic mobile. Because I have 4 keywords and 2 types, that would mean that every week I am using 8 keyword credits because it's 4 times 2. If I had another keyword type, then I would be using 12 keyword credits. You can change the frequency to every 2 days, every 2 weeks, or monthly if you want to. By default, it'll say every week. As far as reviews go, people who have left you reviews, they will populate here. You have the ability to reply, or if you've already replied, change it. And if you want to remove your reply, you can do that as well. Q&A works essentially the same way. So question comes in, we can reply. Yes, we are. And of course, because this location is not connected, it didn't post live, but in your case, it will. Notifications. So when you create your account, you put in an email address and a phone number. That is for these notifications here. So what this is for is if somebody changes your business attributes, the big ones are name, address, and phone number, but any of these things can be changed by people who are just kind of members of the public. Anyone can click on suggest a change. Maybe someone says, they're taking 2 days before Christmas off or something. And if Google goes ahead and changes it, you don't get any kind of notification. So that's why we've set these up. You can choose to be notified by text message, by email, or both. Okay, so we also have a bulk posting option. So there's multi-location media and multi-location posting. And it works the same way as what we've just done. The only difference is, there's everything. There's spin tax. You can link to your previous posts. You can link to your business site. But the difference here is that you can select numerous locations to post to. If you've organized your locations by tags, you can also do it by tag. You have the same options here to schedule the post, and you can make it recurring if you like. So maybe I do every 2 weeks, 5 times. So there is bulk posting options available. We have a CSV bulk upload option as well. If you want to do this, go ahead and click on View Example, and it will download a CSV file that is in the proper format. Just make sure that you mimic that format perfectly. We're going to move on to Geogrid searches here. So this is one of our most popular features. By default, it will load into scheduled Geogrid, so you can schedule these to run weekly or monthly. And then there's live Geogrid searches, which is something you can just run at any moment. So it will automatically load into the history, so you can see previous searches here. But if you want to create a new one, you would go to New Geogrid. If you want to run a search on one of your own locations, it will be available in this drop down here. But you can search for any location. If you go to Google search here, I just happen to see Gatorland, and I will do alligator. So once you've put in the location and the search term, you want to then go ahead and make some adjustments to your grid. So we see here by default, we've got a 13 by 13, 100 meters apart. So this distance here, what 100 meters means is from the center of this circle to the center of this circle is 100 meters. We can change this to miles. Maybe we put 1 mile between them. Maybe we put 2 miles, and now you can see we're covering a significant fraction of the state of Florida here. And you can change the number of nodes. So maybe you want to do a 7 by 7 a mile apart. And let me show you how to interpret the results of a geogrid. So in this case, the name of the business is Smoke Signals and the search term is Vape Shop. So when you see this number 9 here, what that means is if you're standing right there, you pull out your phone, you search Vape Shop, Smoke Signals is going to come in number 9. So I can actually click on this and we can scroll down to number 9 and see that that's the case. You can also see who else is ranking in the top 20 there and then where they're physically located. So this number 12 right here, that is where Vaporfy is located. This number 10, that's where A1 Smoke Shop and Hookah Lounge is located. Now, something else you can do. Let's say we're interested in whoever's ranking number 7 here. Or actually, let me pick a less controversially titled one. Where's number 4? Okay, so this number 4 right here, Level Up Smoke Shop. If I click this eyeball, I can actually reorganize this grid, and now I'm looking out where or how Level Up Smoke Shop is ranking over the same area. Now, this does not cost you more Geogrid credits to do. We've already run this search. We already have this data. We're just reorganizing it for you. So the way that Geogrid credits work is however many nodes you've got. So if you do a 9 by 9, you just treat this like a math problem. This is 81 credits. If you do a 5 by 5, it's 25 credits. Each node that's on the screen uses a single credit. Now, if you want to schedule a geogrid, the setup is pretty much the same. We'd want to go to New Config here. Let me just go ahead and put in a search term, coffee. We would adjust our grid as we like. So, okay, now you might notice here that because we're in Chicago, almost half of our nodes are in the Great Lake, Michigan here. I can put the cursor over the center node and drag it over. So this way the data will be more meaningful. So once you've got your grid set up the way you like and your search term, where did my search term go? Oh, hit a comma every time you put in the search term. So your scheduled searches can actually include numerous terms because they'll be running automatically. Then you want to pick whether you want it to run weekly, monthly, or a day of the month. I'll show you what that means. So a weekly search, you can have this run every Tuesday. If it's a monthly search, you can choose to have it run the second Tuesday of the month. Or if you do day of the month, then in this case, it would run the 29th of every month or the 26th, whatever you pick. So that's setting up GeoGrid searches. And we're just going to go ahead and move on to reports now. So by default, your location will have 0 reports here. So you'll need to click on configurations and then create configuration. So the name that you put here is internal. We can just call this local brand manager demo video. And you'll want to pick the location that it's associated with. Now, once you select a location, you will see this option pop up and show search terms. So these are your scheduled GeoGrid searches. So these will show up at the bottom of the report. So if you want just one of them, make sure you've got it selected. Just select whichever ones make sense. You can have multiple locations in a report. So if you organize by tag, you could just go ahead and put a tag in. But once you've got your locations and your scheduled GeoGrid search term selected, you want to come down and look at these properties. So every one of these check marks is something that we can collect statistics for. So you'll want to just kind of go through line by line and make a determination about what makes sense to include in your report. For example, let's say that this report was for a plumber. You probably don't need driving directions. Nobody drives to the plumber. You know, the plumber drives to where the problem is, so that wouldn't make sense. So just kind of similarly, using that logic, just go through, figure out what you need, what you don't. As far as zero value properties and decreases go, so decreases means one of these has gotten worse since your last report. So let's say this month you have 40 driving directions, but last month you had 50, so it's gone down 10. By default, that would not show up because it's a decrease. A zero value property is when any of these come back completely as zero. So those are not included by default, but you can turn them on easily by clicking these sliders. As far as the data period it covers, there's weekly, monthly, and then periods. And then you have a comparison graph, and you can choose to compare to the previous period, previous year, or baseline. So baseline is when you synced the location to local brand manager. Scheduling works the same way as scheduled Geogrid searches. You can pick weekly if you like, just pick a day of the week. Monthly, make sure you pick a week and a month, or day of the month. I want this to run the 13th of every month. As far as notified users go, the account holder will always be available here, but you can put in other email addresses if you like. And then to. So if you want to send this directly to your client, just go ahead and put the email address in there, and you can put as many as you like, just separate by commas like this. The rest of these are all email fields. They should be familiar. You can carbon copy people, you can blind carbon copy, reply to. So if your client replies to this, just put in your email address, subject, your weekly report. If you want to put in a header and footer, you can do that. If you have a white label set up, just make sure you select the correct one and click on Save. Now, your reports will start populating once you've done that, or if you go to Configurations, hit this play button at any time to just go ahead and generate one. Let's say it's scheduled to run every week, and it's not supposed to run for 4 more days. You can just go to Configurations, click the play button, and generate a new report at any time. So it will create a PDF version and a web version. So the way these differ is that the PDF version is static. Obviously, nothing can change. It looks like we need to renew an SSL certificate, but the report's pretty straightforward. Now, as far as gallery goes, these are all the images that we kind of looked at before when we were uploading media. You will want to, or pardon me, you are able to drag and drop images down here if you like. Let me make sure we've gone over everything. Like I showed you earlier, if you click on a location and go to upload an image, and we get to the EXIF screen, so let's say we're uploading this image, one thing you're able to do is create EXIF templates. And this would be, we'll go to create new EXIF template. Let's just call this downtown. And the way you can do this is put in whatever keywords make sense. I'm just going to be very generic. Subject. But a good one is, like, let's say you want to use the same location over and over and over again. So you see here is our latitude. And here is our longitude. But for some reason, we don't want to always use that. Let's just change both of them a little bit. And 37 to 38. Now, when I go ahead and save this template that I've called downtown, click on submit. From now on, anytime I go to upload an image, I can choose that EXIF template. So if for some reason, you just know that you will always want to tag an image in the same way, you see that I've got downtown here. And we have my custom latitude and longitude. So that's going to do it for this demo. If you do have questions, feel free to reach out to us. Support chat, you will always see a chat bubble in the bottom right-hand corner. We are very responsive to it, so we're always glad to answer your questions. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.